Hello Arcane Odyssey community. Today we will be going over the 2024 roadmap, and I know it's been released quite a long time ago, but I have decided that will finally upload again and go over each update in close detail, and as well as adding stuff that this does not actually list. So first, of course, we have our beloved Nimbus Part 1. We all know we're getting a ton of new armor sets so far. New locations, we have a wilderness island, story island, and then of course Samaria coming up. And we have a raise level cap, which everyone is excited for, and a new town and kingdom alignment system, which if this will be added, it will take quite a while. It is a big system. You can read it over on the Trello. A lot of it has already been existing since World of Magic and just needs a bit of fine tuning to match the Arcane Odyssey's new kind of islands map. As well as just mainly adding story, this adds a lot of new armor sets and now new gems as well. I'm not entirely sure if Vitex will add more rare spells and weapons. Maybe one, the maximum. I don't think he's going to add any this update though, because it seems very unlikely if he does. More weapons? Definitely. We have a lot of bosses here, so yeah, more weapons for probably hybrids, but also mainly warriors, since these bosses are a higher level than before in the Bronze Sea. Apart from these, as seen on the Trello, we've been getting a lot of new stats lately, and a few of them relating to the Vitality path. And this is because on the full release update, not 2 updates away, Spirit Weapons and the Warden build will finally be fully released. Before we move on, if you are enjoying this video, please do subscribe. I know I usually put my subscribe thing at the very end of the video, but I'm just putting on right now, so yeah, please subscribe if you do want to see me upload more, because currently I'm more focused on other things such as school and developing my own game called Arcane Arena, which has nothing to do with Arcane Odyssey. Now let's move on to the Empires update. For each update, there will also be balancing and bug fixes, with smaller additions such as suggestions from players that will be added sometime during each update. A few suggestions have already been added to the Nimbus, whether they were intended or just thought up of Vitex by himself have already been added, but of course more will be officially looked at and accepted on later updates, especially after full release when there is more time. Balancing, of course, the balance document, which has been around for quite a long time. Now these will not be added during the update. Instead, all of them, or at least most of them, and some that Vitex chooses to add, will be added at the end of every update, which is why you may not see any balance changes on the Trello while the update is being worked on. Bug fixes also come at the end of the update. There are a few critical bug fixes throughout the update, and some ones that just come up whenever he's adding something new, but at the end of the update, that is when the majority of the bugs will be fixed. And now the Empires update. The Empires update is a very big update. I know a lot of people don't find this update enjoyable, or the idea not enjoyable, but personally I think this is going to be a really cool update. It allows clans to build on claimable islands, and not just building walls and stuff. This allows them to build farms, to collect resources and galleons, towns, maybe even to invite NPCs. They'll allow players to build spawn points, fortifications such as cannons and mortars, alongside of course just your normal wall building and stuff. This says it allows clans to build. Now a lot of people might be thinking, but requirements might be too high, or maybe specifically how will this clan building work? So each player will have their own individual save file that they can save a build to, but there will also be a shared clan file that can only be accessed by the leader. And I'm assuming this update will also change a bit about clans, because as right now they are not fully fleshed out, and a lot about clans are unfinished, but not much is known yet about how clans will be revamped, or even if they will be revamped. But overall, I think the clans building on islands will be a really cool addition, because not only will you be able to build, you will also be able to do stuff like clear trees, add land, delete land, and stuff like that to terraform the island to how you want. And maybe some people will be able to make really cool builds. And of course, we will also be getting more story, with a more level cap and new locations, and of course the balancing and bug fixes, and maybe a few suggestions like every other update. The full release update is a big one in terms of diversity. This one doesn't really add any large thing, well, apart from the Warden build, but instead it adds a bunch of small additions that seem cooler to the general public, such as spirit weapons, legendary ships, more ghost ships, and new side bosses such as Cernix from the Forest of Cernunno. And in this case, the side boss might actually be Cernunno instead of Cernix, as we do see that quest line gets cut off after you defeat Cernix, so we might see the end of that, and also more side quests with bosses. Of course, our usual story continuation, and I have a feeling a lot of suggestions will be added on this update, or it will be a faster, hopefully a faster update than usual, but maybe not, we'll see. And I'm assuming since each update takes around 2 months to complete, sometimes more, the full release will probably be sometime around in the summer, which is like a decent period of time where everyone is out of school. The update after full release is the Professions update. Now, this is another very interesting update because it allows for even more player build diversity, and player professions have long since been on the Trello right now, and it's just about like kind of a small job. Like currently we have cooking, brewing, and jewel crafting, but when the professions update is added, these will turn into full-on professions that you are able to level up, you gain unique traits and abilities for, and not just these, but other things such as maybe fishing and treasure hunting. And of course the bounty hunter profession, which many PvPers will probably choose to go, just so they can get even more renown for ganking people. A lot of casual players probably will not like this, so there will be things put in place to de-incentivize random killing and ganking, but of course if the PvPer just does that for fun, then it probably won't matter. Alongside professions, it will also add magic sensing, which seems like it might just be something small from Arcane Adventures, if you remember. I have a feeling this thing's going to be much larger and much more complex than what it was before, especially since Vitex hinted at a energy suppression type technique during the Arcane Odyssey Q&A a while back. We might be seeing something more than just being able to see your opponent's power level. And of course, our usual story continuation. And at this point, we're getting close to the Nimbus. Maybe the war has passed, maybe the war hasn't started. We don't know. The Nimbus overall has a quite interesting storyline that has been repeatedly hinting at since the Bronze Sea. I am excited to play the storyline as well, so the next update, the Nimbus update, will be a very interesting update to play and rejoin the game after a long time. After Professions will be a small update that ends the Nimbus, and this one, likely just as well as the full release update, will probably add a bunch of suggestions from the players due to it just having a story continuation idea so far. But more things of course will be added, such as updates to the Dark Sea per update, because the Dark Sea will be updated alongside when there's level cap increases with new items, new rewards, and of course more lost spells and rare spells, which I think that is something I haven't mentioned. Per update, as the level cap is raised, there will also be new rare weapons, techniques, and spells, and rare spear weapons after the full release update, which is interesting because we still do not know how spear weapons might work, apart from the fact that they just take your HP when casted. And the last update for 2024, which probably will not be a case, that the update's probably going to be in 2025 for all that we know, is the Vamir Sea, which is the third sea after Nimbus. Now this sea has not been talked about anywhere in this story so far, so no one exactly knows how the storyline will play out in here, and maybe it is home to the Carax, but I'm not sure about that. I think that's Jotunheim, but Jotunheim is their capital island and not the name of the sea. So who knows, maybe we will finally meet the big and only Wotan in the Nimbus Sea update. But of course we'll wait and see, since this is a general roadmap for ideas that weren't able to make it out on early access. This doesn't really have anything relating to the story after release. So who knows, maybe we'll get another major development update in the middle of 2024 that lets us know more of what might happen in the ending of 2024 and 2025. Overall, this is a very packed year full of updates and features that everyone's been waiting for, especially spirit weapons. And personally, I'm gonna come back to play some, maybe make a few videos on more builds after Nimbus, and I'll be making trailers for them too. Probably not official trailers unless they want me to, but I'll just be making my own side trailers and hopefully able to release them before the actual update. So do stay tuned for those. I'm gonna cook for every single one of them. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope I didn't bore you too much by my rambling, but yeah. See you guys in another month. Haha.